Welcome back. I'm Stephen with Fountain Ford, along with my esteemed colleague.
Phil Trebatowski.
And today we're going to talk about more leads does not always mean more sales and unpacking it. Here's why. So what a wonderful example. We have a dealer here in which was having some issues taking their new sales to the next level. And one of the things that we unpacked was a detail that we often talk about in our monthly meetings. What are the choice of words that we're using with our customer? Now, something I often talk about with my dealers is we need to make the customer the hero. Here are the three things the customer cares about most. Number one, price. Number two, I want you to make sure you don't waste my time. And number three, make me feel special. If a dealer focuses on those three things, they will sell more and more and more cars. That's a fact. So what exactly happened with this dealer? They must have had an explosion in lead volume, right? Wrong. Same system in place, actually a reduction in lead volume. There was demand lower in the marketplace, but they changed the choice of words on the front end after secret shopping their own store, as well as their number one competitor. They changed the way that they were going to pencil a deal, if you will, on the phone. And what they did was they addressed something that the customer finds is very important, which is, I want to at least know in general, and I realize all the sales trainers out there might want to slap me across the face when I say this, heard. The customer wants to talk more about price over the phone, and that's considered to be this massive no-no. What I can tell you is this dealer took some of our advice based on this Mazda customer, very loyal Mazda customer base, is talking to this set of dealers and then talking to you, and you're not addressing one of their problems. So if they're talking to these guys and they're addressing it and you're not going to get an at bat. I think we can all agree that we're addressing their problem. These people are addressing their problem and we are not addressing it. That's a problem. So open up the mind, change some of the sales training, and sure enough, what exactly happened? They went up in overall pool percentage. They went up in overall sales, even though the pool, meaning the competitive pool, was down. And they didn't do anything else with regards to merchandising, regards to ad spends, etc. They changed their choice of words. And what the Automotive Accelerator is all about is addressing the cause of the cause. There's a problem, there's a cause, there's a solution, and there's an outcome. There's what life should look like later on. And what life should look like later on is exactly what happened here, which is we're going to make the consumer the hero, and by doing that, the consumer is going to put us into their consideration. And this dealer has won because of it. And Phil, I know you're very close to this dealer. Was there anything else specifically that you had seen?
One thing that we had talked about was the follow-up process in looking at some of these mystery shops. Now, if you look at this mystery shop, throughout a 5-day period, this store tried to contact this lead 11 total times. We like to see this at 12, but 11 is still a good number of follow-up attempts. Sure, could they have tightened up their response time on the text and on the email that went out? Absolutely. But still, they reached out 11 times. We did not see the lead follow-up, specifically the frequency and the amount of touches. That was not the issue at this particular store. Let me show you another one. Over this 7-day period, there were 14 contact attempts. This store was reaching out at a good frequency, fast, yet those deals were just not converting. And so what the GM of the store did, like Steven said, is he mystery shopped, and he realized that when the customer asked for a price, the competitors that were dominating in this space were giving a very aggressive price right off the get-go. What was his store doing? They were asking questions about the trade. Are you going to finance with us? There were 20 different interactions before they could actually send out a price. After realizing that, they put that into effect starting in June. And again, the results speak for themselves. Their market share was up by nearly 50% compared to previous and prior months, like March and April. And they're really starting to see the fruits of these changes that they made and took place in the month of June.
Really good takeaways there, Phil. I think what's really important is the devil is in the details. And that's something we've been saying since back in 2016 is when we uncovered the fact that a dealership growing as economically as possible comes down to addressing the cause of the cause. Our accelerator system focuses on, first and foremost, breaking down into the 3 levels that we speak about all the time. In-market demand and what you pay to acquire it, the conversion of in-market demand into a lead and what your lead mix looks like, and then what the salespeople's performance looks like at the end. Context for lead, lead to appointment, appointment show, appointment sold, objection handling. And so we want to make sure that you, Mr. Dealer, are addressing the cause of the cause, because then you're growing as efficiently as possible. And this is a wonderful example of don't go spend any more money. Hi, the agency, I know we're much different than a normal agency. The agency said, don't spend more money. As a matter of fact, focus on these choice of words and what makes your customer the hero, and you will sell more cars. And what an incredible example, setting an annual market share high this last month, even though lead volume by no means did it explode. It did not. And so what a wonderful example, a good message to all the dealers out there. The devil's in the details. And before you go and make a quick decision, let's pause. Let's take a look all the way into the details of the choice of words they're using to make sure that you can get as many sales out of your efforts and out of the money you're spending as possible.
And one final note on this is look at how their schedule rate has changed in comparison to the last 12 months of data that we have here. As they have focused on improving their choice of words, they have seen their schedule rate go from an average of 28% up to 34%. Now, over the last 2 months, this store is seeing near record amounts of appointment volume, while total lead volume has actually contracted over the last couple of months. This is, in fact, a Mazda store. The Mazda incentives did weaken a bit throughout the middle and tail end of Q1 and Q2 in 2025. Now, despite that, and despite this lead contraction, this store is focusing on the choice of words to take market share.
If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. It's free, and we want to make more videos that you love for people just like you. Thanks for the support.